Now they're furious, and it's only about to get worse, because I'm about to pull back the curtain on the little scheme Drake's been running on his own fans. Before we dive in, hit that like button so everyone can see what's really going on here, because Drake's latest move? It's one of the shadiest grifts we've seen in a minute. Alright, let's talk about Cupcake Drake, who's back in hot water thanks to yet another viral clip exposing what it's really like to be a Drake fan in 2025. The clip has fans realizing that the whole Drake experience might just be a scam in disguise. And honestly, as more days pass, it's becoming painfully clear that the image Drake has built, this cool, loyal, untouchable superstar, is crumbling fast. Even his most diehard supporters, the ones who'll defend him to the end just to avoid looking foolish, are starting to see cracks in the OVO fantasy. Now, brace yourself, because this new situation takes bad fan experience to another level. It all started with something Drake helped organize, a supposed event that ended up tricking his own audience into buying tickets and traveling for an experience that wasn't at all what they expected. The setup? A collaboration between Drake's OVO and none other than Vybz Kartel, marking Kartel's first ever Toronto shows at the end of October. Sounds major, right? Except, this is where things start falling apart. Before we even get into how fans are now claiming they got scammed, let's look at how this whole concert was framed. And to be fair, I'll give Drake's fans a little credit, because in terms of promo and presentation, this thing was wildly misleading. The flyers, the branding, the way Drake was hyping it up, his name was plastered everywhere, right next to Vybz Kartel's. The shows even landed right around Drake's birthday weekend, so it looked and felt like a Drake celebration. Considering he hasn't performed a full concert in Toronto in years, fans had every reason to believe he'd actually be performing. But here's where it gets messy. On night one, Drake did show up, doing speeches, walking around like the king of the arena, spinning remixes of his R&B and pop hits in a quick DJ set. Technically, you could call that a Drake performance. But nights 2 and 3? He didn't even show up. Not a cameo, not a verse, nothing. And that's where the frustration exploded. The OVO branding was everywhere. Drake's name was the selling point. But 2/3 of the crowd got no Drake at all. That's when people started saying it outright, the Six God might have just turned into the Scam God. What's funny, well, not funny for them, is that the same fans who keep showing up to these OVO events are the ones exposing how disappointing the Drake experience has become. We've seen it before, bottles thrown at him forgetting lyrics, garbage flying on stage. The "it's all a blur" era became "it's all a mess." And now, fans are flooding social media with clips from these shows, like one viral video showing people looking completely lost and bored, expecting Drake and getting only Vybz Kartel. There's even one guy yawning through it, and honestly, it says it all. Sure, some might joke, well, that's what Drake fans get, but let's be real, concerts in 2025 have gotten ridiculous. Between inflated prices and confusing promos, it's easy to sympathize. These people genuinely thought they were paying to see Drake, and the way the event was branded made that a fair assumption. And still, it's hard not to feel conflicted. On one hand, Drake's live shows have been dragging for a while, half karaoke, half chaos, so missing one might actually be a blessing. On the other hand, no fan deserves to get misled like this. Especially when the man himself was hyping it up, only to ghost the majority of the weekend. Whichever night that viral clip came from, one thing's for sure, Drake wasn't in sight, and the crowd's dead energy said everything. The Six Gods illusion is cracking, and it looks like his own fans are finally starting to wake up. Honestly, this whole situation is just bizarre. You almost don't know who to feel bad for, but one thing's for sure, Drake knew exactly what he was doing. This wasn't some innocent mix-up or poor communication, it was a calculated move. He wanted those tickets sold, those seats filled, and the numbers looking good. Whether fans were misled or not didn't matter to him, he got what he wanted. OVO's sound was behind the event, and Drake clearly had a financial stake in it. The misleading branding wasn't an accident, it was bait. And what's wild is that this is nothing new for him. Over the past 5 or 6 years, Drake's been making decisions that all follow the same pattern, half-hearted, uninspired, and motivated more by obligation than passion. We saw it with For All the Dogs, Scary Hours, an album he can't stop bragging about going platinum, even though nobody else seems to care. Sure, it sold, but that doesn't make it a classic. He's the only one still checking his certifications like it means something. It's the same energy that's been running through his whole catalog lately, from Her Loss with 21 Savage, to Honestly, Nevermind, to Dark Lane demo tapes. Every project feels like a product, not a statement. Each one a little less inspired, a little more rushed. And now, that same lazy formula is bleeding into his live shows too. When you look at artists like Kendrick, Cole, Tyler, or Travis, you can see the difference immediately. Their tours feel alive, crafted, purposeful, like an experience they actually care about. Meanwhile, Drake keeps putting his name on events where he barely even shows up. The contrast is embarrassing. And it's not hard to figure out why. Drake's trapped in his own deals, label contracts, Live Nation obligations, the endless OVO machine. He's built this empire that constantly demands output, even when the creativity's gone dry. So now, instead of slowing down, he's cutting corners. He's splitting albums with other artists, co-signing smaller acts to handle half the work, and calling it collaboration. But really, it's strategy: divide the labor, keep the pipeline moving, and keep the money flowing. These Vybz Kartel shows were just the latest example. His name was the draw, his face was the promotion, but his effort? Practically non-existent. It's the same trick he's been pulling with everything lately: attach his brand to someone else's energy, then coast on the buzz. At this point, it's clear Drake isn't just spreading himself thin, he's burning out publicly. And instead of facing that, he's doubling down, hiding behind OVO partnerships and collabs to make it seem like he's still everywhere. But behind the curtain, it's obvious, the man's running on fumes. The so-called Six God isn't innovating anymore, he's just managing his empire like a franchise, pumping out fast food music and half-baked performances. And that's the sad part. The Drake we once knew, the one who made every release feel like an event, is gone. What's left is a brand trying to survive by any means, even if it means scamming its own fans to keep the lights on. This whole situation just sums up exactly who Drake has become, and honestly, it's sad to watch. The man's work ethic and priorities have completely shifted. He's not focused on craft, quality, or giving his fans a real experience anymore. Everything now is about numbers, optics, and cash grabs. Drake's turned into a slick salesman, doing whatever he can to convert attention into money, even if it means fooling the same fans who made him who he is. You look at this latest fiasco, people thought they were at a Drake concert, and they're sitting there confused, yawning, realizing they've been tricked. That's not just bad promo, that's a straight-up con. And I know some fans will roll their eyes and get defensive, but one day they'll see it too. Drake isn't taking care of his fan base. He's not even pretending to anymore. He's in it for himself, cutting every corner possible to stay afloat while trying to meet the insane obligations from the deals he signed. Yeah, those $400 million contracts he bragged about? They came with a leash. Now, he's stuck, no creative freedom, no passion, no leverage. Live Nation calls, and he goes. Europe? He's there. Australia? He's there. Doesn't matter if he wants to or not, he's locked in. Imagine being one of the biggest artists on the planet and still feeling like an employee. That's Drake's reality right now. And the sad part? He's masking all that pressure with gimmicks. Partner albums, recycled ideas, random collaborations, it's all designed to split the workload and keep him from fully showing up. But when the music starts to sound lazy, when the shows feel soulless, when the fans finally realize they've been paying for smoke and mirrors, what's left? Even this fake text thread that went viral, the one where Drake was supposedly giving heartfelt advice to a fan who quit their job, it's almost poetic. It wasn't real, but it felt real because that's exactly the fake empathy he's been selling lately. Pretending to care while doing the bare minimum. But let's be honest, none of this is going to stop. Drake's not going to change because these schemes are all he has left. He's going to keep milking his fan base, leaning on nostalgia, and hiding behind the OVO brand until it all collapses. And if you're still defending him, still saying he's playing the system or standing up to the industry, then you're too far gone. Because this isn't rebellion. This is self-destruction disguised as strategy. Drake made his bed, and now he's lying in it, surrounded by disappointed fans and fading relevance. At the end of the day, if you're still showing up to these shows, still buying into the illusion, then you're part of the reason the downfall keeps getting worse. The once untouchable Iceman has turned into the scam man, and the only thing colder than his performances now is the way he treats the people who believed in him. Anyway, that's it for today. Let me know what you think about this mess and Drake's latest stunt. And if you made it this far, hit that like button and subscribe. You're going to want to check out yesterday's video, it's pure chaos. Drake getting kicked out of a club and looking like a total clown might just be the lowest point of his career yet.